Today, 10/25/10, I have 9.5 years of sobriety today, and I'm very grateful for it, and every day it's more than worth it. It basically saved my life. And I wanted to do this video to share that with you for a couple of reasons. I really don't need to share it anymore. I mean, I'm pretty much, I'm a completely different person now. I'm over it. I share now just to help other people and to release some of this stigma and to make myself available for anyone who feels like they want to connect or reach out. But it's pretty fitting, the timing of all this, because a few days ago, the night of the 20th, my biological father passed away in his sleep. Rather, he was probably in a blackout. He had been drinking that evening, my uncle tells me. And, you know, I've known for a long time that, you know, he's been in and out of hospitals, especially this year. It's been really bad. He was a smoker as well, which I know contributed to his death, but I think it was mostly the addiction and the soul sickness that's behind that. You know, alcohol is a depressant, so if you're drinking, it can cause depression, or if you're already depressed, it can certainly exacerbate it. But I don't want any sympathy from this video. That's not the reason why I'm making it. It was actually a relief that he passed. I was actually praying for that relief for him and for everyone involved. He sadly had become a burden to everyone, to his family and friends. He'd been living with family, living off of them for quite some time, and he'd alienated, and he was estranged from all of his other children. And I maintained my unconditional love for him because I did go through what I went through 9.5 years ago. You wouldn't recognize me. I was a completely different person. I was 2 years mostly dying in hospitals, emergency rooms, psych wards, rehabs, and I was very, very sick, and I was in a lot of pain, and I really wanted to die. Initially, I got sober not for myself, because, like I said, I was really over it. I wanted to die at that point. I did it for my family, for my mom, for my friends who just would not give up on me. And that's okay. Whatever it takes initially to get you over that hump is fine, because then, of course, after that, I was glad that I gave myself another shot, and I learned to love myself again, and I rebuilt myself, and of course, here's the end result. You see where I'm at, and I consider myself a role model and sponsor people and things like that, and it's great. But it's really sad, you know, the way that my father went, the way that he went out, estranged from all of his kids, and he was a father. Like, he adored being a father and being a family man, and he basically screwed all of that up. He had 5 kids, of which I'm the eldest, and I got most of his good years, as I call them. You know, he was there for all my big events, my college graduation, my Navy commissioning, and all of that stuff, my sister's wedding and my niece's birth, and all of that. And then the next 3 kids down, he just, you know, once his second marriage declined and everything just started declining, and I don't know, he could just never pull it together. He never could find the courage and the strength that I did to really give it a shot. And it's sad, but like I said, I'm glad that he's well now. I know that for a fact. He's well, he's in a better place, and he could probably do a lot more good from where he is now than what he was doing here, which was nothing, basically. So I get to fly up to Portland this weekend, Halloween, for the memorial service. And it's actually a very, I mean, I'm sad, of course I'm sad. I've been, you know, up and down and stricken by tears off and on the last few days. Morbid sadness that kind of has paralyzed me for a couple of days. I couldn't do anything, but for the most part, I have joy, and I'm really excited because I haven't seen this side of the family, these family and friends, since 2001 at least. And I just adore all of them, all my best friends from college and everybody. So he did something right. There's a real blessing that's come out of this whole situation, and that is this reunion that's going to happen this coming weekend. And, you know, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. That's a blessing. So yeah, it's sad that he couldn't get it together and make amends and come back around, because I think for the most part everybody's really willing to give people a second chance, and they're kind of eager for that, you know, and he never came around for full circle for that. But I guess, you know, it just wasn't in the cards for him this go around. It was for me though, and I'm making the best of it and doing big things, and like I said, I'm really excited to see all of these people, because every one of them played a part in where I am now and me getting sober and pulling myself out of that self-imposed hell I was in, and being so close to death, you know. I don't know, maybe if his children and everyone had reached out to him and really tried to encourage him to give him that second chance and say, or third, or whatever it would have been, maybe he would have found the strength to do that. But I guess they just didn't have the strength in their hearts to, because he hurt them pretty bad. You know, I'm not blaming anyone. I mean, I totally understand where everybody was coming from. I just think that, you know, on the one hand, you really should never give up on someone, especially when they're in this kind of sickness where there's an addiction or alcoholism, because there's always a chance. There's always a chance that it could snap and they could get it and get well, and then they'll be the best human being you've ever met in your life. But then again, the flip side of that is that there's low percentages of recovery, and people go back and forth and up and down, and it really is taxing on their loved ones. It's very taxing, it's emotionally draining, and you can't let someone, it's like a drowning victim, you know, if you don't know the proper technique to go out and save them, if you go out there and try to save them, their survival instincts kick in, and they will, no matter how much they love you, they will reach out and push you down and drown you trying to save themselves. That's just the survival instinct that we have, and that's the analogy that I like to use for these types of situations. And that's what Al-Anon is for. There's an organization called Al-Anon, which is related to AA, which I'm involved with, but that's basically for the families and friends to teach them how to deal or not deal, and boundaries, and, you know, how to set boundaries and all that kind of thing, so that you don't drown. And also so that you don't enable and you don't encourage the behavior. You know, you want to help, but the best ways to help sometimes is tough love and cutting the person off. So, and you know, just praying and hoping that they get it. So there's a lot of help out there. I hope that you do have loving family and friends and a good support group around you, and if you don't, you really should try to reach out and establish one, even if it's making AA your family. It is a great family. They're very unconditionally loving and non-judgmental, and it's great. It's a great way to get started. Luckily, I had both. You know, I had a really unconditionally loving, supportive, strong family and friends as well. So I feel very, very blessed right now. Always, but especially right now. And it's an emotional time, but it's a joyous time as well. Full of blessings. You know, death has a way of if you allow it, of bringing people together. You know, so I don't know, I guess that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to reach out and share that with you and send my love to all of you. And if any of you are having any kind of issues or problems and you don't know where to start, you don't know where to turn, you're too embarrassed, you're too ashamed, you're too shy, or whatever, just send me a message and I'll point you in the right direction. I don't bite, I promise. There's a lot of loving people out there. There's a lot of understanding out there. Just don't let it get the best of you. Don't let it take you down. It's not worth it. Life is worth it. It really, really is. No matter how hard, no matter how shameful, no matter how ugly things got, you can turn it around and life is worth it. Here's to you, Ken Daddy. His name was Ken. We called him Ken Daddy. That's another story. But anyway. Yeah. Here's to you. Lots of love.